Okay, welcome everybody to another Theatre Crude YouTube content video thing. This time, I'm talking to Jackson and Cameron about Southern Plains Productions' presentation of Lizzie the Rock Musical, or is it just Lizzie the Musical?
Lizzie, the rock musical. We like to throw the word rock in there, remind
Brilliant.
of like a concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is coming up very soon at the Tower Theater, August. Oh, it's a Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, it's 18th and 19th of August.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm. This is kind of free form. I'm just going to throw it over to you guys. Do you want to give us a brief overview for anybody who doesn't know who Lizzie Borden is? Maybe we could start there.
Love
Yeah, absolutely. So Lizzie Borden is an axe murderer from the year 1892. She kind of grew up in this troubled, privileged lifestyle in Fall River, Massachusetts. And there are various rumors about why and how and what exactly led to her becoming an axe murderer. But our show kind of postulates that it comes from a deep, deep love of her pet pigeons. So Lizzie kind of escapes from, again, that very privileged, very secluded lifestyle and loves these pigeons that live in a barn loft so much that they kind of give her respite and give her hope for a future. But when her father comes in and decapitates those pigeons, it kind of shocks her and the town and everybody in her life. And she takes it so far as to do the same to him with an axe. And she ends up murdering him and murdering her stepmother. And so the show kind of explores not only what led up to that moment, but what kind of falls out afterward.
Great. All right. I mean, if you're looking for a story setting for a rock musical, it's got everything: murder, intrigue, pigeons.
Yeah, you can't really have a rock show without pigeons. And trust me, they come back and they get more and more important as we continue to explore the story.
All right. All right. Jackson, I'm going to go back to you, Mr. Artistic Director and founder of Southern Plains. Can you tell us what made you want to include this in your season this year?
Yeah. So I first found Lizzie when I was a high school junior at Interlochen in Michigan, which is a boarding school for art students. And this group of people decided that they were going to produce their own DIY production of this show, and essentially like fought the theater department to put it up, as they were like, no, like we have too much going on within the department already. We can't have you doing this like outside. And they basically made it happen by themselves, which was really incredible and exciting. But it was a very scaled down DIY black box production. And I just immediately fell in love with the music and was like, holy crap, this is such an exciting show and such an exciting plot and theme. And the legend of Lizzie Borden, to explore that is so interesting. And so I've always been one of those people that is really interested in myths and legends and iconic people. And so I had done a lot of research about this woman, and there's been a movie made and there's been several documentaries, but nobody really knows what happened. Did she do it or did she not do it? And so basically, there's been a musical created about her, of course, as there is. And they essentially decided in the musical she did do it. And we explore this whole path of what her life really did look like and the actual truth of it, but also the fiction of she going forth saying she did it. And so I really was excited about this project because I wanted something for Southern Plains and for Oklahoma that was exciting and unique and fresh, and something that was going to allow Oklahomans to come together as a community and, celebrate and rock out. And the Tower Theater felt like such a great venue for that. And I've had so many different conversations with different artists throughout Oklahoma about trying to figure out, how we make art accessible and how we put it in places where people might not else look for it. And the Tower has been a great partner in that because they've really been advertising to their community and their outreach of people who come see rock concerts, and come see, shows at the Tower. And they were really excited to partner because they've never done a musical. And we were like, okay, well, this is a great partnership and a great idea. And so it just kind of like formed into, we're doing Lizzie and it's going to happen. And it's the first time it's been done in Oklahoma City. But then it kind of like became real. And I was like, okay, like who do I know that can direct this? And, the answer really was kind of nobody. So I was like, all right, let me get on the internet and start going through different, databases of directors. And somehow I stumbled on Cameron's website and started going through her media and her resume and different things. And I was like, this is the person, like, this is the person for this show. Immediately knew it. And I sent her an email, and Cameron, I don't know if you remember, but she responded and was like, yeah, I'm unavailable. Like, can't do that. But essentially was like, I would love to talk and have a conversation about it. And eventually we did. And it just kind of, I don't know what made you like kind of change your mind. We kind of like tweaked dates and figured out things, because I knew once we had a strong captain of the ship, then therefore everything would just kind of fall into place, which it did. And yeah, Cameron, I'll kind of like pass it to you, and if you want to interject in this story anywhere, and this is where you come in.
Right. I mean, like Jackson said, I got a cold email, and for someone who's relatively fresh out of college, that was not only flattering, but a little. I was suspicious, honestly. I was like, what is this theater company that they are searching for people online? But as soon as I got on the phone with Jackson, I realized that he is just the brilliant, blossoming soul that you see here today, and that the theater company is so fresh and so new in many ways. And so it not only explained this kind of cold outreach, but it also gave me confidence in their mission, because they thrive on kind of embodying this sort of revolutionary progress, I suppose. And as a theater company that does site-specific work, I was so fascinated in their choice to do this kind of musical, to do this kind of show. And I couldn't say no. How could you say no to that face and to this awesome project? It's been an awesome process so far, and I can't wait to actually meet Jackson in person, which is going to happen in about a week. But it's been really lovely and amazing, and I'm so grateful that somehow you saw something in my portfolio that spoke to your vision. So hopefully that'll come to fruition, and with our brains combined, we'll have some sort of fulfilling rock musical night event.
What has your production process been like with the distance between you? I also understand a lot of your cast isn't local to Oklahoma City either. So you've got people all over the country trying to put this thing together. And once you get into town, you're going to be together for a week, 2 weeks before this thing opens. What has that process been like, coordinating people across time and space?
Yeah, it's been a learning curve. It's been interesting and fulfilling in many ways. I was able to bring in my own dramaturg and my own music director, both of whom are New York based. So the three of us have been able to have conversations in person, even though we were doing Zoom auditions. The music director and I were able to be in the same room, looking at the same screen. So there has been sort of the representation of a normal theatrical process, but a lot of it, we are using skills that frankly I learned during the pandemic, of how to have a conversation on Zoom, how to really engage across different time zones. It's been a lot of schedule coordination and, again, time zone coordination. But the process has been long enough, because Jackson contacted me about a year ago, honestly, in September of 2021, done. So I've had enough time to really prepare my vision, and I feel confident enough with the summer stock experience that a lot of us have had, that we're going to be able to get into that room and really just kind of get straight to the point. I was explaining to my therapist recently, because she is naturally not a theater person, that as a director, I really have to shift my mindset depending on the project for a variety of reasons. But, there's a difference between a 3-week long rehearsal process where you have time to go in and kind of ask questions and say, what about this? Or what if we tried this? Or maybe we can find an answer together in the next 45 minutes. But we just don't have the luxury of that in this sort of time crunch. So I'm going in with much fewer questions and definitely more answers, I suppose. So we will be working with less of a rough draft, but of course there's still going to be as much collaboration as would allow in the room. But it's just a difference of how much I'm walking in with, really.
Right. Yeah. The Tower Theater is, like you mentioned, hasn't done stage productions or musicals before. It is traditionally a rock venue, live music venue, not necessarily rock music of all kinds. So I think this is super awesome that you are bringing a musical to the Tower. But Jackson and I, who have been in there, understand that there are some constraints that will happen because it is not a venue that is built for theatrical production. Do either of you want to elaborate on what it's been like trying to preemptively solve those problems?
Well, something that's really, amazing about Cameron is she is so willing to say yes and, which you kind of have to in the Tower. When we went in there and toured, they're like, there's no crossover. People are gonna have to like go outside and go around. The only way like to the stage is like through this spiral staircase that's on stage left or something. Like it's only that way. I mean, there are so many things. The stage is much like it's a proscenium, but it's smaller and it's compact because it's really meant for bands and not a full musical with choreography and elaborate sets and costumes. So there's been a lot of figuring out how not only do we work around these elements, but how do we embrace them fully. And I think that every time that I've called Cameron and been like, okay, so this is like a thing and something in the road, she would figure out a way to not only make it work, but celebrate it and figure out a way that we can use it so it would look planned and it would look, like we intended to do this. And so, I mean, that's been great. I mean, our choreographer, the great Hijab Hus, has worked at the Tower before, and she knows what we're getting into and has been over there with us looking at the space with our lighting designer and our sound designer and the stage manager. So a lot of the creative and design team, with the exception of those 3 people, are from Oklahoma and have been able to be in the space and have planned, what's the lighting plot look like? What is the, where are the speakers going? All of these things. Where's the, platforms going? So that way we know what space we actually have when we get into the room. The first time Cameron and Jude, who's our music director, will see the space in person is when I pick them up from the airport on Sunday and we drive over there, which is pretty crazy because then we start rehearsals Monday. But we have done so much pre-planning. I mean, Cameron has done an amazing thing, and you can talk about this a little more, but she's essentially opened up her script and shared what she has in mind for blocking and what she has for pictures. And I see choreography here, I see lighting here, for this, and shared ideas. So that way designers have been able to bounce back thoughts remotely. And that's been really great because walking into the room, we have a ground plan. We know exactly where actors are moving. We know exactly what the choreography looks like. And we've hired really amazing, talented people who are ready to just jump in and go. And they're coming off book. We've sent out plunk tracks, so actors already know harmonies. And of course, we're going to brush up things when we get there, make sure they're all solid and solidified. But everybody's really excited and prepared. And that's just kind of the work you have to do when you're working this quickly. And something else that really stuck out to me about Cameron's resume is that we had both done the Muni. I was a Muni teen when I was a kid, and she's worked as their associate assistant director. And we both understand what it is to put up a show in a week and a half and have a day and a half of tech, and then you're opening that night. And I think that that experience of being there and seeing that unfold really is an experience like no other. And that's kind of what we're working with here, with a little bit more wiggle room than you actually get in St. Louis at the Muni. But yeah, that's something that really stood out to me. I was like, okay, like she's done this. She understands what it is to throw up a musical so fast, but put a lot of love and care in it, and make sure that, you know, it doesn't just feel like we're throwing things at people. People have a say in the room. We are being collaborative. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I can also just speak to the space. I think, you know, a creative confine is the best foundation for an idea and for a good idea. I love challenges like that. And so hearing that we were going to do it in the rock venue, I was like, phenomenal. You know, I haven't worked in a rock venue before, but I've gone to plenty of concerts in, you know, grubby little downtown places in Williamsburg and Bushwick. And I have plenty of friends who are musicians, and I love that very specific feeling of participation that doesn't come in a classical theatrical space. So I am and was and, you know, continue to be remarkably excited for the challenge of the Tower being more of a concert venue. And to speak quite plainly, the way we are approaching that challenge is by making this show a concert. I mean, it just, you know, Jackson's initial instinct to kind of marry these two things of Lizzie Borden the musical and rock concert is so intrinsically woven into this text already that all it took was me to say, oh yeah, obviously, and here's how we justify it, you know, and here's how we tell the story with these tools in a way that serves the text. So we're doing Lizzie Borden, the haunted rock concert, but you know, it in its own way is still obviously a musical, but is very, very much embracing what the Tower is and what the Tower is going to give us.
Yeah, this sounds like this is a very high energy project. You're gonna expect people to be standing throughout the entire performance, just rocking out, getting into it.
I wouldn't be opposed. We'll see, you know, we'll see how on their feet and how participatory this can be. But if you're going to ask me, if people can, you know, throw bras up on stage, I'm down for as far in as we want to go. You know, like as much as we can make this inclusive, participatory, I think those are the best shows. The farther away we get from at least those sedentary confines of classical theater. I mean, I have such reverence for the religion that is going to see a musical. I'm working on Ragtime right now. You know, it's all very, very puzzle pieced and in its place and predictable. And I think the beautiful thing about Southern Plains is that they are kind of wiping those predictions off the table and saying what else could be true. And this is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, this is one of the things I'm very excited about for the future of Southern Plains, not to derail from the Lizzie hype, which is the most important part of us being here. But that drive to find new places to do theater that aren't your traditional theaters and finding the right piece to fit in that specific location. Yeah, super excited about it. Can't wait to see what other places around town you find and what you put in them. I saw Lungs at Factory Obscura earlier this summer. That was great. I didn't get to see Small Mouth Sounds out at the Gardens, but I heard many good things. Even though I think one of them got rained out or delayed an hour or something.
Yes, indeed. Yes, but that's okay. You know, that's theater.
Yeah, outdoor theater.
Outdoor
Rain
theater
happens.
It is, yes.
All right, but back to Lizzie. You've got Hicha doing choreography. Do you want to shout out any of your other design team members?
Yeah, so Fabian J. Garcia, he's the resident lighting designer at Lyric Theater of Oklahoma. He's coming to do lighting. He also worked on our production of Small Mouth Sounds. We're very excited to welcome him back. He's such a light in the room and, you know, amazing to work with. we have Matthew Sykes, who is coming to do sound design. He's actually done all 3 of our shows and has been great and there since the beginning. And so we're so excited to have him back as well. Audrey Montilla is our production stage manager, who is a godsend and literally organizes everything for all of us in our life. And it's just amazing to have in the room. And we also have Armando Ortiz from the Creative Studio on the Paseo. You might have seen his work and Lyric's last production of Rocky Horror. He designed all the costumes for that, as well as some of the headpieces and things for Lyric's Hello Dolly. But this is his first show that he has ever designed and built himself entirely, which has been a massive undertaking. And him and Cameron have worked tirelessly on these costumes, you know, designing and redesigning, and very, very, very collaborative, lots of Zoom calls. And I went over there the other day, and it's all being built and it's all coming together, and it's so unique how we're combining sort of the 1800s, but also our modern aspect take on a rock concert. So his costumes are really going to be something to see in a light of this production. So that's really exciting. And then Christina Richart, she's doing all of the hair and makeup design and has put together some really stunning looks as well. She also has worked closely with the actors on nail art. So that way everything is cohesive and fits within their character. There are so many specificities that have gone into this production. There really is no stone left unturned. So it's a great team. It really is. I've said it a million times. It's a dream team, and to be in the room and collaborate with these people has been amazing. So to see it happening now and us about to go into rehearsals next week is really exciting.
All right, Cameron, would you like to shower some praise on your cast that you put together, your musicians?
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, we've got Sadie Farmer, who will be playing Lizzie Borden, Joanne Gilman, who is Emma Borden, Haley Gustafson, who plays Alice, and Sasha Manzetti, who plays Bridget. And all 4 of these women are, I mean, powerhouse is an understatement. You know, powerhouse is an insult, actually. These ladies, I mean, I'll say this over and over again, and Jackson and I have talked about this till the cows come home, but we really were looking for something more than an actor. We're looking for, obviously, people who can sing, act, dance, but captivate, really. This, because we are going with such a stripped down, no fourth wall concert style approach, these women really have to create their own band in a way. They have to be a girl group, and those things that we usually rely on in theatrical settings, like, you know, a stronger book, or projections, or shortcuts that we usually take, we just don't have those privileges. And again, that creative confine has given us the opportunity to find personalities, not only actors. So again, all 4 of these people are going to bring a beautiful combination of what is on the page, what these people really were in history, and who these actors are. And I wouldn't be surprised if we really lean into that 3rd one the most out of anything, because though I don't know them as well as I will by the next time we see each other, I am very, very confident that their natural abilities, their natural charisma and charm is going to be a huge weight puller in our production.
Brilliant. Yeah. Do you guys have any particular part of the show that you're really excited about that you want to give people a heads up for?
Oh my goodness. I'm very much looking forward to Lizzie's transformation at the end of the show. The way we see her in the final number is something I'm very much looking forward to. And the way in which we are portraying the murders. Can you tell that I don't exactly want to give anything away? But I think that Yeah, I'm really excited for the work that Costumes has been doing. I'm also very excited for the work that our music director and our band has been doing, and the way that they're going to get involved.
Excellent. Excellent. Jackson, you have anything you want to tease out?
There's so many great parts. There are so many unexpected things that we have in store for you. I'm particularly excited for the way we have chosen to begin the show, which is a very unique kind of twist on usually beginning a show in a mix of rock concert. Yeah, it's really exciting, as well as, you know, just everything that we have compiled together. I think that Cameron's right on when she talks about seeing Lizzie in her final form, and what we have created for that is truly going to be jaw-dropping. And with Fabian's lighting design and Armando's costume design and the direction Cameron's putting together with the band and Kicha's choreography, holy shit, get ready. Get ready, Oklahoma. It's going to be crazy.
All right. Brilliant. Yeah, one last time. It's Lizzie, the rock musical at the Tower Theater. And that is August, I was even writing it down. August 18th and 19th.
Yes.
Brilliant. August 18 and 19 at the Tower Theater. Lizzie, the rock musical. All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me about this. I'm really excited to see it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, hopefully I'll get to see you both in person when I go see the show.
That'd be great.
All right.
There. Sounds good.
Brilliant.
Thanks so much.
All right. We'll wave and sign off. Bye, everybody.